good to see you, man. Last time I saw you, you had just knocked out Austin Vanderford. And I remember as Austin was walking out, there were fans of his with big signs, and they were saying, "We still love you, Austin." And he just ghosted right by them. So I wanted to know, is Aaron Jeffrey accepting new fans now?
Always accepting new fans.
What has life been like since this KO? Are you getting some props now? Are people finally giving you the credit you deserve?
Yeah, life is exactly the same and totally different all at the same time. I got some more Instagram followers. I got a blue check mark. I'm in the rankings. I guess more people know who I am, but I still do the same shit every day. I just go to the gym and eat and sleep, and that's about it.
You've beaten Andre Petroski, who's doing pretty well in the UFC right now. Obviously, the knockout over Mr. Van Zant has definitely helped you. Now that you're fighting John Salter, what's the pathway for you to achieve your goals here in Bellator? Do you think this win over a ranked opponent will get you up towards that title?
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, the pathway is always the exact same, right? It's just beating whoever's in front of you. Like, no matter who they give me, I just got to win the next fight. This guy's in the top 5, so hopefully this one breaks me into the top 5. I know the rankings are kind of fucked up, but let's see what happens after this, and then maybe the next one's a title shot. If not, maybe one more.
Hey, Aaron, over here. Hey, man, out of your 13 wins, 9 have come via KO or TKO. Do you consider yourself a power puncher, and have any of your training partners in the past ever said anything about your power?
Yeah, it's funny. Me and my coach joke about this all the time because in some of my older fights, I always took a long time to finish guys, and I'm definitely a volume puncher in the gym. So everyone kind of considered me like a volume puncher, kind of a decision guy, and then we kind of realized like later in my career, like, oh shit, like 75% of my wins are all by knockout. So I guess I don't know if it's power or what it is, but yeah, a lot of wins are by KO, so you could say that.
Last question for me. Have you ever become a friend of somebody that you fought out of your 16 professional fights?
Yeah, a few guys. Sean Brady, me and him have stayed in touch over the years. Brendan Allen, I would actually consider him a pretty good friend now. I go down to Florida and train at Killcliff, so me and him talk and hang out a bunch. I trained with Petroski once after that fight. He's a good guy too, so yeah, for sure.
Zach?
Hey, Aaron. I talked to you last week, and we talked about how you had the extra training time. How do you think that would play a factor in this fight?
Yeah, like I've mentioned before, extra training time can be kind of a double-edged sword. It gives you more time to kind of think and stew about the fight, and it becomes mentally exhausting at some point. But at the same time, it's more time to improve as a fighter, which I think I've done a lot. I've had quite a bit of time off since my last fight, and I think I've made some big improvements in my game. So I'm ready to go.
Nice. And you also mentioned how you're friends with Brendan Allen and Sean Brady. How important is it for you not to keep grudges since they beat you?
I don't know how important it is. I think everyone's different. I know some guys that I've met in the gym that hate pretty much every opponent they've had, and especially guys they've lost to, and they always want the rematch, and that probably drives them a little bit. But for me, like with Brendan Allen specifically, he's like a top 15 UFC fighter. He's a phenomenal fighter, so there's no reason for me to hold a grudge and miss an opportunity to train with someone like that.
Mills?
Hey, how's it going? MMA Locker Room, part of Pub Sports Radio.
What's
How
up,
we
man?
doing, Mr. Night, sleep?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good, man. I just want to say, man, I love everything you're doing to keep Elias Theodoros' name alive. You know, I love your foundation that you got going with that. I do believe, you know, after a win over John Salters, you would be pretty much fighting for that title one fight away. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I agree, man. That's the question I keep getting asked, so I guess it's on everyone's mind. I haven't brought it up too much, but everyone else keeps doing it, so I guess I'm in the title picture.
Jacob? Santiago?
Hi, Aaron. Thank you for the time. You are on a nice roll here in Bellator with 2 finishes, and now the company has matched you up with John Salter, and a lot of guys have been getting title shots after they beat Salter. What was your first reaction when Bellator approached you with this fight?
I love this fight, man. He's ranked above me, it's obviously the most important thing is just to work your way up, right? So getting someone ranked above me is good. And stylistically, I think it's a sick matchup for me. I do very well against grapplers. So yeah, I like this fight a lot.
Aaron?
Hi, mate. It's Aaron East from MMA UK News. Right, just have a quick question for you. Right, what success on Friday will make it a hat trick of victories for you under the Bellator banner. But where do you see yourself on the roster within the next year?
Well, I got a big contract with Bellator. I got 6 more fights to fight out, so I plan to be with them long term and keep winning fights. And let's say this time next year, I'm the Bellator middleweight champ.
Marty?
Hi, Aaron. Greeting from the UK. Coming off obviously 3-fight win streak now, that mega win against Austin Vanderford. Is there any pressure now that we're reaching the higher echelons of the division?
Not any more than there usually is. I think every fighter kind of says the same thing. Like the next fight's always the biggest fight of your career, whether it's like your pro debut or regional scene shit or your Bellator debut or you're finally breaking your way into the top 10, top 5 title shot, whatever it is. Every fight is the biggest fight of your career. So you just got to be ready for the next fight.
Darren?
Aaron, thank you for taking the time. A few years ago, you published an academic paper that a lot of people found interesting and inspiring. Has anyone from Bellator read it and or thanked you for your contributions to the world of science?
No, I don't know. I've never been spoken to about it by anyone from Bellator, but maybe we need to print off some copies of this paper and hand them out at a staff meeting or something.
All right, we'll try Jacob again.
Hey, Aaron. Ideally, how many fights would you like to have this year?
3 minimum. I think 4 would be perfect.
Okay, and then, a lot of people are asking about like a title shot, and then some people would also say that you took the long road to get here, but then it's been a quick rise in Bellator. So you're kind of in that position where you can almost take like a year to build your name a little bit more, or you can go straight for the title. Have you thought about like both sides and which one sounds better to you?
Yeah, I've said this before in a bunch of interviews too. It's the overnight success that was actually 12 years in the making. Like I planned to be at this point in my career. I just didn't expect it to take so long, but then all of a sudden happen very quickly all at the same time. I mean, the position I'm in now, I don't have a choice. I'm in the top 10. I'm going to be in the top 5 soon. So I guess trial by fire or whatever they say.
Last one here.
What's up, Aaron?
What's up, man?
We just learned another promotion is heading back to Canada soon. Do you want to see Bellator return for an event in your native land? And if so, would you entertain a fight with Tommy Theocaris?
Yeah, I think Bellator should definitely come back to Canada. Hopefully that other promotion coming back to Canada kind of breaks the ice and shows some other promotions that it's possible to come back. Who's the guy that you mentioned?
Tom Bomb?
I don't know him.
Just some dude. I had the pleasure of speaking to Ariel Helwani about you a few months back. He had nothing but great things to say about you. What does it mean? I know I saw you on the show, of course. What does it mean to you to receive such high praise from a fellow Canadian with prestigious status like Ariel's?
Yeah, it's sick, man. It's very cool. I watched the show pretty much from day one. I used to watch like the MMA hour with Ariel, so it's very cool to get on there, not once but twice now, and stay in touch with Ariel and have him shoot me some texts every once in a while. It's pretty cool.
And lastly, I have a Goisman-inspired question, so if you don't like it, you know how to fire. What's one meal that, I know you're a nutritionist, so one meal to sustain you for the rest of your life? If you could only eat one thing the rest of your life, what would it be?
Sunny side up eggs and toast.